Hello, hello, hello. Welcome back to. Do I even have to say it at this point? We 26 episodes in. The Touch the
Shit,
City
ready?
podcast. The Touch the City podcast. You know why you're here. You know why you tuning in. You know why you're watching us. If you're watching us on the Thursday, it's because you messing with us. You fucking with
Yeah,
the
you,
brand.
you fuck with
right?
the boys. You already
You
know.
fuck with the brand. So it's the Touch the City podcast, episode 26. I am Fax Mercury, also known as, I don't know.
He's like, "What's the name this week? What I got this
name?
week? What we slinging this week? What's up?"
What am I slinging this week? Hold on, let me think of something. Never mind. I ain't good. It's your boy Sierra Nevada Oktoberfest.
Oh man.
We coming to you live September 7th. What an interesting week it's been. I think because we were able to do some different things. So before we even, because we talked a little before I even jumped too far ahead, how was your week? Or matter of fact, no. Before that, introduce yourself and then tell me how your week was.
Oh man, y'all already know, man. It's your boy Twim back at it again. You know, aka what am I this week? I'm Frank Tenpenny. Anybody from the GTA saga, man? If you know the GTA characters, Frank Tenpenny. I don't fuck with the cops, but you know what I'm saying. Like, I fuck with Frank Tenpenny. You know what I'm saying? Because he was Denzel. He was based off of Training Day. You know what I'm saying? So Officer Tenpenny, that's my guy. Shout out Tenpenny.
I mean, but who is it voiced by? Like, how could you not love?
Yeah, and he was voiced by Samuel L. Jackson. So you can't you gotta love that. You gotta love that. So that's like 100. So shout outs Tenpenny. Shout out GTA San Andreas, greatest GTA ever. But yeah, man, my week it's been beautiful, man. I've just been chilling. Honestly, just I've had time to relax, just sit back, kind of kick my feet up. This 3-day weekend has been a blessing. Labor Day weekend. Shout out to everybody, I guess, who got their little 3-day, 4-day weekend in. We all deserve it, especially given the climate, socially, and just like I guess life wise, like what I'm saying, given the fucking the fucking pandemic. So. I just kind of like sat back. I didn't even actually go nowhere. I thought I was gonna be hitting the beach up. I remember actually I chopped it up with you. I told you I was thinking about doing some like beach or we was gonna try and do the pool. We just ended up kicking our feet up and chilling back, and it'd be like pretty cool. I mean, during the week though, I mean there was a couple of things. I feel like I didn't do a lot, but like I guess not a lot went on, but things like I kind of was engaged on. So like I don't know if you saw the fucking David Blaine ascension bullshit that happened. Oh, that motherfucker David Blaine did it again, man. Like he's just...
what was going on. I was like, oh, David Blaine's doing some shit, and so I was just like scrolling through to like the hashtag trying to see like not footage of it or whatever. And I was just like, bro, he's just who else would do some shit like this?
Who else would even want to think about doing something that crazy? Like David Blaine is really crazy. Like
he really went out and did what we all thought you could do as a kid. Just hold on to some fucking balloons and just fly away.
Like Up or something like that, or one of those movies. And it's so crazy because like I feel like secretly, and I think I hinted like a couple episodes back, I was like talking about how I went on a little bit of a David Blaine binge. Maybe I didn't, but I've been watching a lot of his magic videos over the past couple weeks, and I remember like that's how I knew he was gonna do the Ascension stunt. And like you just like see his progression and like all the stunts that he's done through time and like over time. And like, I mean, I could assume, I don't know, you don't believe in no fucking magic or nothing crazy like that. You think he just be pulling off crazy shit or what? Like,
nah, like, all right, it's like, all right, obviously if I'm being 100% serious, 100% serious, yes, I know it's an incredible sleight of hand. I understand that, but I just cannot fathom how somebody could be that good at something. So I'm like, bro, like it's, to me, it's magic in the sense that like, you're so good at what you do. Like, you can just literally fool anybody.
Yeah, like, no, that's actually a good way to interpret it.
It's crazy. Like you just mastered the art of deception in a way that it just looks like you can do it.
It becomes reality. And honestly, that might be
like, how the hell do you, like, card tricks are just crazy to me in like a certain way, like at least the ones that he does. But I'm like, I don't understand how the hell you're doing this. How, what are the exchanges? Like, because we've seen the movie, like Now You See Me, they dramatize the shit like that. But I'm like, no. I could tell that's a movie. It doesn't really look as real. But this shit is real life. So I'm like, well, what are you doing?
So like necessarily you can like do those things and be able to deceive people into believing you know,
Where
that
are you
something's
learning
going
this
on.
shit from?
Yeah,
That's like
who
some
did you learn
sacred
it from?
art, right? Like,
No,
you know, they're the
I definitely have
they're
all
the
those
thieves
same like,
guild.
yeah, I have all those same like feelings about magic. And you know, I actually have come to adapt that definition that you've kind of described there. Just the idea of, all right, you're performing something that to the average human being or to the average person, it just seems incredibly hard to do, or it's like, okay, you just can't fathom or put together how that can be done. Like that is magic when you think about it. So like, you know, whether it's like a David Blaine, you know, out there doing his card tricks, or fucking, you know, putting needles through his hand somehow or through his arm, and you just like are able to like look and see that it's a needle through his arm, you know, or like it's fucking, I don't know, like LeBron James going for 60 points, 10 rebounds, 10 assists in under 30 minutes or something crazy like that. You know, when you see that shit happen, like it's a certain skill set that only certain people can do. It's almost like magic. Like, and you know, I have real respect for him. So like when I see that he was doing that ascension stunt, I was like, you know what, whatever, let me tone in. And when that shit came on and like he grabbed onto the balloons, float up to the sky, like that in itself is just crazy. Like, and like the
That's
technology
crazy.
behind it, everything like around it was just mad cool to see. Like, I don't know. I found myself literally glued to the computer, actually watching it for like multiple hours. It was weird. Like, you know, MKBHD was involved. Like, it was just like a mad different people involved too in the project, and you know that shit was just pretty dope. Dude jumped from like 25,000 feet, and it was just crazy. Like when you see
Yeah,
like with the
so
360
crazy.
cameras up there and shit, it's just like, yo, what? Like, you know, just
What?
to
Yeah,
do
what are
it,
you
just to do it, yo.
just to do it?
Like,
What the hell are you on? What type of shit you on that this is what you want to do with your life? Like, I want to
yeah,
perform shit that nobody else could do.
yeah,
What?
nah. I never understood that, man, with that dude. He really likes and enjoys like doing some of the most outlandish things. Like, I mean,
Outlandish things ever.
yeah, he knows how to like control his oxygen for 20 minutes because he was like he trapped himself in that water sphere at one point for like over
I
10 or 15
remember that.
minutes.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, and almost drowned himself to death at 20 minutes of holding his breath. Imagine holding your breath for that long. Like that's crazy. I think like the longest I've ever held my breath maybe like 2, 3 minutes. Like I could do
Something
that.
like that. Yeah.
Yeah, I could do it like something like that maybe. But like, come on, son, are you serious? Once you going like 13 minutes, you want some real like fish flow. Like I that shit is incredible. Like David Blaine really does make me like, all right, he pushes the boundaries of what it means to be human. Like what the fuck? Like, but yeah,
He
I mean, you
really
know,
does. Yeah.
yeah,
I mean, yo,
that shit is crazy.
if anybody's gonna be the first mutant on Earth, it's gonna be David Blaine.
Yeah, nah, man. People be talking about he sold his soul. I don't even want to get into all that, man. He's selling your soul to fucking Illuminati and all that
Yo,
shit. That's how
it
you able
just
to pull off
feels
some
like,
crazy
yo,
stuff.
he's like trying to be the first mutant. Like he's trying to force evolution by just putting himself in these extreme situations where he's just gonna like suddenly grow wings or some shit to save himself. Like, I don't
Nah,
know.
honestly, yeah,
Oh my god, like it's just, I don't know. That shit is just hilarious to me. It's just like the
yeah.
kind of shit he's doing, because I'm like, I can't believe there's a human that has dedicated their life to just do this shit. Like, I want to see if this could be done.
Yeah, nah, I
Uh,
don't know. I
and
don't know
respect to
when,
that man,
where.
because
Yeah.
that's a crazy lifestyle to live.
hmm
Very crazy, honestly.
Nah, that boy is crazy, man. So like, I mean, you know, I've just was doing a lot of that stuff this week. I mean, you know, working from home, still trip. You know, honestly, like working from home has just kind of like opened, I guess, a new lens on like, I guess, how I would like to work. Like I, you know, I don't really see myself for the most part wanting to ever go back into office. But man, at the same time, like I guess like in IT in general, like it just has me so fed up, man. Like I don't know how much longer I could do it, man. Corporate
Really?
sucks, bro. It's boring.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's so boring. It's just not.
Actually, no, I said really, like, no, that's why, yeah, I totally get it. I used to do, I did IT, and
Yeah, you
shit.
said you had your stint and you dipped, and I didn't like. I'm not gonna lie, like, cause I was in school when you did IT, so I was still in college. You like, and you got out earlier. Like, you know, obviously you went into the professional field way earlier than like I did. So like, I remember in college, and I used to see that. I'd be like, oh, I wonder why he left. You know what I mean? But I could see it now. Like, I kind of understand. You know, talking to some of like the old heads that I used to talk to, at least in my jobs, my last job specifically, because that's when I used to have more of a day-to-day rapport with my coworkers. Everything else is now Zoom, face calls,
Yeah.
remote distance. These guys used to tell me, and I used to look at them age-wise, 20 years, 25 years, IT analytics, and you know, level
You're
three
like,
support, level
bruh,
two. And I'm like, yo, what? Like, you're okay. wait, hold on, you're still a support technician or some form of a support technician. Like I mean, yeah, you could be making 110K. I don't care. You could be making six figures, but you're still a support technician after 25 years. Like your job is to literally listen to a 40-year-old man or a 30-year-old billionaire or millionaire and his problems with his Outlook email. Like, nah, I could never do that. Like, I don't care how much that money pays. Like, just knowing at least the opportunities and life isn't necessarily about just the money, but it's just more about your happiness and sanity. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
and it's crazy because I know or knew a tier one guy when I worked in where the hell was I in Jersey City, and man's lived up in like Mount Vernon,
Hmm.
talking about his son plays on the same football team as like Diddy's son and Snoop's son or
Wow.
some shit. Because he was up in them areas and shit. I was like, oh shit. But he was still a tier one support technician. So I'm like, so you're
Yeah.
making six figures and you're still doing this shit? I'm like, you wouldn't want to like get paid more to do even, not have to still be at like this level. Like in
Yeah.
the sense that like I feel like I didn't like it because it just felt like like not really grateful work, but basically you're like, you're picking up scraps of shit. Nobody
Yeah.
really necessarily thanks you for. It's just that constant routine. And every time you try to like venture out and figure out some way, there's always some extra processes that you just can't do. And
Mhm.
like, you can be trying to do something, but here comes Mr. Executive Larry, whoever, and he has some fucking issue. Meanwhile, you got 40 other things to do, but you got to drop that to go serve that guy.
Yeah.
They were like, you're the last one on the last ticket, so you got to follow up or whatever, so on and so forth. Then you go. It's some simple shit, but the fact that you had to go over there, come back, it makes you look bad because they don't know how to fucking use the computer. And
Yeah.
then it's like you didn't do anything. You were just trying to do your job the entire time. You just get suddenly thrown in the shitstorm because you're at the
Yeah.
bottom.
Nah,
I
yeah,
just
thank
I
God.
didn't.
That was definitely a lot of 2017 me. That was my job for the most part. Thankfully, this one is
But sure,
or
yeah, you're
yeah, you get to more sit back. You're like looking
yeah.
at things. You're administrative. It's like administrative IT, and I always tell people, as you move up that ladder, it becomes more of like delegation. Like work is delegated. Like okay, my work, I might send somebody to do that like type of work. Now, okay, like somebody needs to address this computer. I'm gonna contact a technician, have them go out to your location, address that. Maybe if it's a certain type of executive, a certain type of, account manager or something in like, my area, I might take a look. Or if it's in my office, I might take a look. But, like thankfully I don't deal with that a lot more. But like I guess it's weird. In some ways I miss that because I felt like it kept me sharp as far as like my software technical skills go,
Oh yeah,
my
yeah.
hardware skills. Like I don't deal with that stuff on a day-to-day anymore. Like if somebody asks me about an issue, I'm literally like, bro, you have to call the service desk. Like there's no way I can help you with this. You have to contact the service desk. I'm an IT analyst. I can't help. I can't do anything for you, bro. And they were like, wait, what is that the same thing? I'll be like, yo, I don't even know what it is anymore. I just know I can't. I don't have the answers to your issue. And I think like that's the thing too that throws me off about it. It's like, okay, you know, maybe it's time to move on at least, maybe from the sector of it, or find a new field of work, period. I don't know what that would be. I guess like I didn't even think that far into this conversation. Like shit, you can kind of exclaim or, pronounce your discomfort, or like the fact that you're not really happy with the field, but fuck, like what is it next? What is next? Like what would you want to do next? And shit, I'm not gonna lie, man, I really don't know. Like I feel like there's so many ways to make money nowadays that, if I thought really hard, I probably could figure out a way, but you know, like, man, corporate sucks. I don't know if anybody else out there obviously listen to the podcast, can relate, but these jobs are trash, bro. They're definitely trash.
Yeah, it's tough. A lot of shit for the proletariat out there. But it's just it's just extremely disheartening sometimes. But it's like there are some good days, like but it's weird. It
Yeah,
really just depends on the job too.
yeah,
But even then, like like your responsibilities shift the higher up you go, but it still ends up balancing out in a weird way. Like
mm,
it's not like, oh, I have less stress now that I'm promoted. That's what's weird, right? You're
yeah,
working hard at the bottom, but depending on the job, it also you're giving yourself more work with the more promotion.
Yeah.
You know, like if you become like a vice president or some shit, you got all these motherfucking people talking to you, you got to do all this shit.
Do all
And you're
that
like, well, I
shit.
made vice president. I'm like, that sounds really stressful.
Yeah, no, honestly, like I think about that
Not
all the
like
time. You know, that's
you just working
realistically
like 90, 100 hours. Like you're just in the office doing whatever.
office all the time, doing whatever. Like, imagine that as like your everyday. Like, that's something that I guess I'm not scared of. You know, that's not something I'm scared of because, like, at the end of the day, you like as I've grown, like, or I guess let me step back for a second and just like this. I've always looked at my jobs and said, like, I don't know if I ever want to own a business. Like, that's kind of always been my thing. I don't want to run a business. I don't want to be some head honcho shot caller for everybody because, yeah, it's a lot of stress. It's a lot of responsibility. It's a lot of like things that like it might not necessarily be your forte, and that's okay to admit. Like, there's nothing wrong with admitting that that might not be your specialty, and you'd rather somebody else doing that or calling that, and then you work in like a sub, like one of those sub roles that have unlimited earning potential. So in IT, for instance, yeah, I mean, yeah, you can be like the I don't even know what they call it, the CITs or CEOs of ITs, that VP of IT or whatever that sector is, and you might have a salary with bonus earning potential in the hundreds of thousands of dollars. Like your salary might be 200K, 300K, and your bonuses might be hundreds of thousands of dollars, $200,000. Trust me, I've seen it first place in pharma. Like these motherfuckers get phenomenal money. I'll tell you this much though, you're not making money like these engineers. Shockingly, an engineer could make $150,000, bro, off his salary, and then off overtime. I'm telling you, the numbers that I used to see these motherfuckers pulling, and they get bonuses too because they're part of the company and all that. Like that stuff goes out through the entire department. So like these dudes used to be living like gods, bro. Like when I tell you, like their earning potential, and they worked on their own time, their own dime. When you have these positions of specialty like engineering, or you're some security, I don't know, whatever these
The
motherfuckers are.
specialty shit is
Yeah,
that's where it's at.
that's
Because
where
I
it's
knew
at.
somebody that was a tier one, and then it was in a company where it was like technically smaller companies, or like there was one team contracted there to do like a particular kind of work, but they weren't actually part of the company.
Mhm.
That guy got good with the software they used specifically for them,
Yeah.
and when they left, they were like, bro, we need you to come with us. Boom. And like literally, like the money he made from that shit, it was like instantly like double what he pulled in originally
Wow.
because that specialty shit. They were like, he got good with that, and they left, and they were like, okay, we need you. Like, if no one else knows this, so you, that's it. So you
Yeah.
just
Say you
picked up
on
some
it.
shit off of that, and now you good. And now if that team grows or becomes bigger, you're just chilling as you go
Yeah.
up, more or less.
No, that and honestly, like that, that's like really the dream. Like honestly, if I can, like I'm gonna latch onto one of these softwares, and that's the thing about life. I feel like ideally I should be trying to find what makes me happy, and then look for something like that, and try to make money doing what like I like to do, like rather than just chasing the check. Like yeah, I couldn't become an engineer. I'm smart enough to just go get the degree, get the money together, get the certifications, get the training to do it. I fucking hate doing that though. I'll be honest, it's just not my thing. Like I'm sitting there studying the stuff, and it's not like it captivates me. You understand? And like at that point, if you're not being able to captivate me, like I've always struggled with that type of learning pattern. Like I'm never that guy that can sit back. You're trying to learn something that doesn't make sense. That's why, like even in college, I struggled through college. Although I graduated on time, and like honestly, with a side, I had a 3.0 GPA. I wasn't right on the money, so it wasn't like the worst grades, but it wasn't the best. But like same thing with college. Like I couldn't buy textbooks. I never wanted to read the textbooks. Like I just would be reading that shit. And I'm like, yo, none of this stuff applies to me. Like it just doesn't apply to what I want to do, what I care about, what I'm interested in. And I mean, shit, like that stuff is just so important when you just consider like what you want to do with yourself. Like being happy and just being able to absorb like information. Like it's just so much easier. Like so for me, like if I'm reading something, let's say about my PC or something about my car or something about cameras, I can pick it up like this. I can become a master on it in X amount of time. Like I can really like flex my ability to learn whenever I'm captivated. So I think I'm just trying to find that stuff. Like all right, where am I going to be able to take something like that or one of those areas and make it a passion. Because like, everybody thinks IT, okay, you're dealing with computers. I like technology, but trust me, the customer service aspect that delves with IT is just a very strange type of service that is just kind of like, all right, nah, my job cannot be as simple as, I don't want to dummy my job down to it, but like to fucking refresh your emails, like your Outlook emails. Like, I just don't want to do something like that. Not long term, but yeah.
So you know what? Fuck that. I'm gonna continue on this tangent. So what would be your next step career wise? Well, what do you want to transition into specifically?
If I have to honestly like say, I mean, my next goal is definitely to transition into network engineering. So at this point in my career, like I can either go one of two. I could go many directions, or I can do anything I honestly want to do. Like I just have enough basis experience. I'm sitting at 5 years in at some desktop support level 1, 2, 3. I have those levels of support in my on my resume over 5 years. Different projects and shit like that I can claim to kind of just make it look like, all right, this dude has been in the field technically. He's had his hands in networking assignments. He had his hands in imaging assignments, administration assignments. He has so many different things. He's been dealing with hundreds of thousands, not hundreds of thousands, but I'm probably sitting in a few thousands in terms of just ticket counts. I've been able to meet SLA goals, bonuses. I've been, at the tip top of my teams. I manage multiple sites on my own. I do that as an actual job now. Like that's stuff that I can actually throw on my resume to say, okay, you know what? Like now I want to become a network engineer. Now, like as a network engineer, okay, you know what? What do you need? All right, so you need experience on the background, doing things in the server room or messing with servers. Okay, do you have experience with certain X, Y, and Z programs, whether it's Cisco based programs or like anything like that on that side of the spectrum. Like they're going to ask me, okay, hey, do you have that experience? And that's where it's going to be like, okay, whatever I have hands on at the job plus certifications is what is going to be able to make me qualify for those type of moves. And like, that's kind of where I see myself going, because I feel like networking specifically, and the reason why I'm looking at that, I think that I can apply that to some degree on a personal level, whether it's at home, in my friends' careers, or like, even to a business model. Like a lot of people, I feel like having strong networking skills, whether it's, being able to establish home networks, understanding how to configure things best, optimize network setups at home, the wiring behind it, things like that. I feel like it's very, very strong skills that I could apply to not only like what I do professionally, but I think like, in home, just like I said, with friends, even maybe as a career. I mean, independent contractors. I like actually the guy that's helped me set up at my previous job. We at the corporate headquarters, we set up the dude that they hired for networking he was an independent contractor. He was an independent contractor that had his own team of technicians. Like he just was like 3 or 4 guys that like, so you see, like those are my dreams. And I've had conversations with friends that are in the corporate and IT corporate, whether on the business side or actually on the service side, like me. And their idea is, okay, hey, like, maybe down the line, we can establish some form of an IT consulting firm where our job is to consult for your company and establish the services you need. Because that's all IT consulting is, whether it's, okay, hey, all right, so you know what, let's establish this purchase order, buy you X, Y, and Z computers. Okay, we have this service contract with these guys. These are the guys that are going to support your system. What I've learned, at least, and I don't want to go too long-winded, but like wrapping it up, like being within that corporate environment, especially at my last job, very so more, because I was very, very close to leadership on the last one. And what I saw with a lot of the guys making the shots, the calls for my department, my team, our equipment, how we enacted and deployed like new technologies throughout the building services, like, yo, it's such a fucking like shit show as far as like, yo, these guys don't know much, man. Like they really crowdsource the information, whether it's from bright niggas like me on the fucking team, or like the group, or the people that are face to face with the consumer every single day. Obviously, some of the brighter minds that might have experience in management and how to deploy things for companies. You might have conversations with them, but as far as like, okay, what is actually needed for you to be successful? Not a lot of these guys actually know. Like they don't actually have that technical background. Like there's not a lot of that. So I feel like with our generation, there's going to be a lot of us because we interact with technology so much that I could tell you exactly what you need to. Well, I mean, obviously, outside of the specific sound engineering aspect of the sound equipment, I could tell you
Mhm.
technically on the computer end what exactly you need to power your exact studio. Though I can help you
Yeah.
support that. I could, even like down the line, shit, I'd probably parlay with somebody and say, okay, hey, X, Y, and Z about sound equipment to be able to provide you a sound solution. But you're one of the audiophiles, so I would never be able to do that. You're already on another level, so I would never have to fucking go out there and try and provide you an audio solution. But like that kind of idea though is just what I'm getting at. Like one day I would love to do that. So network engineering, and then eventually maybe IT consulting, where I'm actually running my own business with friends. We're consulting for companies, whether small or big. And shit, I know my shit. We know our shit, and I know we could definitely get things done for people.
Okay, then, brother, man. Do that shit,
But man, shit, I'm still on the what did you do this week, man? I still got like at least another 4 or 5 bullets now. You say that. Yo, the content kings. Oh my god, we like at least 27 minutes in, man. I'm looking at this mug. Shit crazy, man.
Well, before that, my week.
I'm gonna let you. Yeah, I'm gonna let you go ahead, bro. Yeah, tell me about your week, bro.
My week felt supremely dedicated to actually getting out of the house. I walked, I want to say like 12 miles this week. Just off for like just the shit that I had to do. I just ended up walking a lot. We also walked, no, I'm sorry. We went to the beach, but not like the beach really, just the boardwalk area, took some pictures and shit, bought out the film.
They're turning the film gods, yo. Y'all honestly like some cold film shooters for real. Like I know y'all you always be laughing it off, man. How come how come people of color don't know how to take no fucking? How come black people don't know how to take no fucking compliments, man? Oh nah, that's you, bro. Nah, that's you, man. That's you. Now you the film, y'all be shooting. Y'all got some good eyes. Like at least one shooter to another. One shooter to like you're a shooter. To me, you're a shooter. Like I respect it, man. I just wanted to get that in there.
Thank you. Much appreciated. I don't know. I like it. It feels easier to me, honestly. The film just feels like okay. I what I'm aiming in, like I'm only like it just I don't know. I just know exactly what I want to shoot with it.
No, I like that. I love hearing that because it's like as a shooter, like I know what you mean that when you're aiming in, you establish the image or you establish what you want or you just like see it and it's like oh my god, like wow, like okay, it's like doing exactly what I imagined, like and it just like you just have what you
and you're like oh this exists, this is how it looks.
Oh man, film. I know film probably has that exact type of feel though to it, like because you know me, I'm a DSLR shooter. I mean, yo, if I picked up a film camera, I know I would never put one down. Like, cause Shola, he's big on like a lot of like the medium format, the point and shoots, the really, really high resolution cameras that give you that like just that 1-to-1 ratio of just sharpness is incredible. So like when I pick up his cameras and I'm using them, I'm just always so blown away with the sharpness and just how they feel. It's so different than just like a regular DSLR. Like, and I'm not sitting there shit on. I mean, the A7 III is a phenomenal camera. Same thing with the A6500. Y'all see the sharpness. I mean, this shit it's a fucking hell of a camera. But I mean, when you look at like just film, like that establishment of just what it feels like, it almost is the candid feeling of just like, yo, you're there. Or you could almost feel like you could almost smell the image. You can feel the moods from the image. You almost feel like you're there. Like it will remind you of a moment in time for real. Like I feel like I look at my pictures sometimes and I'm like, yo, you know what? They look cool. And I remember that moment in time, but it looks like, yo, damn, you made him look like, that was like a flick, like a flick at a moment in time. But like a fucking film image to me is always like, yo, that shit is like a real moment, like in history. Like that's a moment in your history, your existence.
It's crazy because I like the shots themselves, but honestly, the way it looks in the viewfinder is what's crazy to me. Like just the way it looks, and it's like this is crazy. Like this is the picture. I'm making the mental picture. This is what I'm gonna remember more than the actual picture. Just how it looks in the viewfinder. Because like I shot her, and like I did a specific shot, and it just the way it looks, the way it looked in the viewfinder, I was like, oh my god, like this is incredible. Like
Yeah,
it just
I know that. I know exactly what you're talking
no,
about. It's so
just
crazy. It's so crazy. I
it's
know what
like
you're
I
talking
was like, I think this will work, and the way it looked in the viewfinder, just it made me realize, like, oh shit, this is exactly like mood and everything. I was like, the way it looks is like, yo, she looks like she's in the 70s right now. The way it looks, but I was like, nah, the way it's so
about. Mhm.
fire. I hope it comes out how it looks in my head. I hope
Wow.
it does. So I could actually just describe it, or actually you can see it. But if not, then I'm gonna just keep it to myself.
Yeah, nah,
I'm
that
never.
shit, like it really blows you away though, because like now I'm even thinking about all the times if I've ever taken a photo or even when I went to the beach like 2 weeks ago in Long Island and I just took just those momentary photos. We weren't even like trying to take real photos. It was just like, yo, let me take a picture since we're here. So I just told her, yo, go stand over there, and it's like camera like just cleans up, it focuses, and I know every photographer knows what I'm talking about when you get that moment of your camera's trying to lock the focus on the person, or if you're a manual focuser, even when you're dragging the focus ring and you see it just blur out and lock focus on the subject. But if it's a really open, like wide open angle lens that could really fucking open up your aperture and give you that creamy bokeh, and you just lock onto your target and it blurs out, like it just it almost, it doesn't feel real. It doesn't feel real. It's like, all right, yo, wow, like this is real life. Like I'm like looking at like some crazy shit right here. Like I don't know.
But yeah, so that was
Pick up a
definitely the
camera and get
highlight.
that feeling.
Yeah, but so that was pretty much the highlight of my week. In all honesty, that was mostly that. Just did the same things I'd be doing. But let's jump into it. So I'll transition because the biggest thing, honestly, for me was the RTX cards.
Yeah, no, the
That
RTX cards,
3000
man.
series.
That shit was one of the highlights of my week as well. I mean, all the information we're continuing to get. I mean, it's just it's beautiful. I mean, shit. I don't know what else to say. I mean, what else can I say? I've been telling people to do this PC thing for years. I'm just happy that everybody's on it. I see people's awareness is heightened. All my friends telling me they're getting 3080, so that shit, they about their money. Like I respect it. Like putting their money where their mouth is, getting the best value. The 3080 is easily the best value at the price it's offered, just because
Yeah.
of the last generation as well. Like the last generation of cards, anybody who's been following NVIDIA cards, I mean, you've kind of always seen like historically the slower tier card, you'll look at a 400 price point, mid tier $400 to $500 price point, and then that upper tier, technically the enthusiast, the top end gamer, you're looking at the 80 cards, and the 80 cards are typically that $600 card. But out of $700 card, they eventually like bumped it up to like 800 though for the 2080 for whatever reason. So they brought it back down to $700, but this time it's offering about 80% more performance than the card that cost $100 more than the previous generation. So it's going to be an absolute phenomenal deal for like people to go ahead and cop. And I mean, I don't know, shit. PCs are for everyone at this point. I don't know about you. I mean, shit, like
Oh yeah.
I don't even know if I have to really explain that to people, but like anybody can be using a PC, whether you're a content creator right now, an engineer, a DJ, you know what I'm saying, a scientist that's doing a fucking AutoCAD mechanic, an engineer, or agriculture architect. I mean, the list goes on. Like it doesn't matter what
Yeah.
you do. Powerful computers can be in so many ways useful to your family and to your household, to your existence. I tell people all the time, like they don't realize that they're already into the PC race. They just do it on the other side. Like when you pick up a fucking iMac Pro or a Mac Pro or a MacBook that costs $3,000 with a GPU in it and fucking 2 terabytes of storage with high end RAM and 6 to 8 cores to 10 cores of fucking processing power, like you're really like at least buying into that culture. You're just doing it on the Max ecosystem, like you
Yeah.
know. So like this stuff is very very important. So shit, 3080. I think I'm gonna get the 3080. I think I am gonna get the 3080. I wanted the 3090, but 1500, bro. I don't know if I got that on me. I'll be honest. I
Not
got
for
a lot of
that.
money to spend, man, but like I'm still very, I remember when I was broke, man. Like I'm still broke. I feel broke all the time. Like it doesn't matter how much money I ever look at, I'm gonna always feel broke. But it's just, I remember when I didn't have a fucking dime. So to me, like to go ahead and spend that much money on like a GPU, I still can't do it, man. 1,500.
You're just like, mm-mm. Like I'm like, okay, got a teensy bit of money, but not that much money. Can't do that.
It didn't even matter.
That's like the sucker thing, though. That's like the whole capitalist. I got to make more money to get the nicer things, but there's always going to be something nicer.
Exactly, and that's just the unfortunate truth. Like even if you get the 3090, they're gonna release a RTX I don't know what it's gonna be called, the RTX Titan X again. Like I don't know because the last one was the RTX Titan X, and they had the RTX Titans or whatever. Like so they already have those cards, but they're gonna release another one that's even stronger than the 3090. So to me, it's like you start to look like, all right, what am I gonna do spending 1,500, and then there's gonna be a card that's gonna outperform it, and regardless, there's gonna be in 3 to 4 years, there's gonna be another card to outperform it. I might have to sell my card, lose about $700 to $800 in value because I can't see anybody right now paying more than $500 for a 2080 Ti. And the same thing would happen to a 3090 when the 4090 replaces it. It's going to lose a significant amount of its value. And it's going to just you're going to waste money. So I'm so much more comfortable just sticking with the 80 range. Like I paid my RTX, I have a RTX 2080 Strix, Asus Strix overclock 2080 card. That motherfucker cost, I think it was like $850 or $900. But I didn't buy that. I didn't buy it at that price. I got it at Micro Center for $684. So it was expensive. I got it for a really good deal. You know what I'm saying? So like when you shop for those deals and you're bargaining, you can get it for a good deal. I got my 2080 at a really good deal, and I think it was right when they announced the Supers. I just went and bought a 2080, and this shit's been good. I'm still pumping out games at 1440p, 1080p, everything I could run damn near maxed out. Single player games I run on ultra without question. Multiplayer games on high. This 3080 is just gonna put me in another echelon. And at $699, I could sell this card, recoup on maybe like $300, $400, somewhere in that ballpark. Put another like $300 to $400 on it to get the 2080. So you see, like that's the kind of cycle that you want from the gamers. Like if they're gonna buy the top tier card. Similar to how somebody would buy a PlayStation X, Xbox Series X or a PlayStation 5. And then in 10 years, when the next card comes out, or 6-7 years when the new console comes out, they upgrade the console. Yeah, when the 5 years now, when the next top tier card comes out, I'm going to upgrade my card. That's exactly how you want it to be. So that's why, like, right now I'm super happy because, I've had my 2080 now for 3 years. So, it did its job, honestly. I honestly can't ask for anything better.
Yeah. Well, shit, I'm excited. But all right. So what else we got? Let's jump into, of course, what we've been talking about for, I don't know, 4, 5, 6, 7 weeks now. Sorry if you hate basketball. I don't know what to tell you, G's, because we're going to keep talking about this shit.
Yeah. Hoops, bro. It's hoops, man. Hoops. I don't know how anybody can hate like the hoops right now though, because like hooping in general is like it's the shit. Like, how could you actually hate the fact that we enjoying the playoffs? People out there, they battling, they're doing what they love. The NBA has continually tested. Nobody's getting sick. They're giving us the keys to success as a society while giving us entertainment at the same time. Ain't nobody but like our good brother Adam Silver. Only Adam Silver could post something crazy like that off. So shout out Adam Silver. But man, and also just shout out the players, man, for putting on such a crazy show. Because some of these performances have been absolutely incredible. This second round has just been incredible too. Like everything is just back and forth. Nobody has a clear edge yet. So I don't know what's your predictions. Obviously after the round one losses, I think everybody kind of had those predictions like pretty much correct. I don't know if nobody got upset yet in round one. The Sixers, I don't know if the Sixers technically counted as an upset, but it's because Ben Simmons went down with an injury. But right now we're looking at, the Bucks and the Heat is almost crazy though that they almost got.
They're about to go. They're about to go.
Yeah,
I don't know if they can really make that comeback.
You think? I actually think they can do it. I think the Heat is going to be the first team. I'm going to make that prediction just right now. They're going to be the very first team in NBA history to lose a 3-0 lead. And the reason why is because for whatever reason, I don't know why the Bucks choose to play like this, but they are a one-dimensional team. Too many players, and this is like the Curry effect. Unfortunately, though, like it's been ever since more so chased because it's LeBron. He's been in the league since '03. Everybody's been looking for the next LeBron. The same way they've been looking for the next Jordan. You want this wing that is a scorer, can play defense, and can like also like fucking distribute the offense. Not everybody is gonna do that. Not everybody can play that like one man band act that LeBron plays, where it's like, okay, everybody stands on the perimeter. I can get to the rack at will with my crazy strength, and I'm gonna be able to dish it out at all times. One, if you ever run into a team that could defend it, even LeBron has shown it doesn't end well for that. You need multiple stars on your team in that case, then to be able to beat a team like that when they can collapse the paint, keep you out, and you're not doing whatever you want to them in the paint all day. And that's exactly what's going on with the Bucks right now. I mean, they really have a situation with Giannis where, like, y'all don't have superstars on the wing, so you really can't be on some spot up 5-4 or like one man running to the whole 4 out type of offense. Like after a while, it's easy to defend, especially in the playoffs when you got to play a team up to 7 times in a row. There's no way they're gonna let you kill them.
By game 7,
yeah. They're gonna like stop.
That's why the games look like that, because there's a bunch of defense, people missing, people tired. It just is, game 7s are sloppy. They're prone to some great moments because it's sometimes it's an up and down game depending on how the series went.
No, that's a fact, and that's why I'm just kind of like it's unfortunate like to see that happen to Giannis because like he's such a good player. Like so to me, I'm just like, man, like when you see him like struggling like that, and you don't want to see him go to another team. But like I think the teams do like the offense of the Bucks needs to be better run to where like it just shows Chris Middleton needs more touches. Like as a scorer, like as somebody that can score from the outside, he needs to be touching the ball to the point where he's not just being.
I know he's been a little bit cold because I know him for the last few years. Yeah, he's a fantastic player in the way that like he's a great secondary guy. But I don't know if it was touches, but I just remember seeing his shooting splits and they just weren't as good. So I don't know if maybe he was just cold and he just caught fire. Maybe he's getting back to it.
I think it's a combination.
He was injured as well too. Didn't he get injured? I don't know, a year or two.
I don't know if he was injured, but I think it's just more of like I think it's just the way Budenholzer has the offense drawn up right now. Like if you look at the offense,
they lose this.
He's going to be going. Well, I actually don't know if he's. Well, yes, they're going to fire him before they try to get rid of Giannis. They're going to try and make a crazy coaching play for the final year and see, okay, hey, like who can we get to actually make a push for this title with Giannis, especially his final year. We want to make a reason or give him a reason to stay. Budenholzer just seems to be running this Giannis show. Nah, we got to get it where maybe they need another guard. Like Eric Bledsoe. The Eric Bledsoe experiment failed. We need to get another guard in that can make plays for Giannis because Giannis is not a true point guard. He's a big man. He really is a big man, and I think that he just needs to play big man responsibilities because of the fact that he cannot shoot. And not everybody's going to let him get to the rack. Like LeBron can shoot to some degree. That's why LeBron has just been successful his whole career. Like everybody wants to be the next LeBron, but nobody wants to give LeBron his respect for just being a great overall player. Like, I really just like having no true weaknesses to his game. Like, yes, he's not a phenomenal shooter, but he can put the ball in the hole at range. You can't always like sag off of him, and he's proven it time and time again in his career. Like, I think with the Bucks, all they got to do is figure out ways to get Chris Middleton more touches. I'm telling you right now, like the way he was looking, man, I'm telling you, yo, he looked like a 60 to 70% KD. Like,
I mean,
like the shots wasn't going in all the time, but like
I know what I said
he gets
before,
a high volume,
but
he can put it in.
I was wrong. And just to say really quick, I was wrong. This is his so far. This was last year, 2019 to 2020, or I guess they cut that off and then they'll add the bubble stats later. But before, up until the bubble, this was his best statistically career year. 20 points on 49, 41, and 91 shooting splits, 6 boards,
crazy,
4 assists, in the least amount of time in some time. He only plays 29 minutes.
Wow.
So
that's crazy.
Never mind. Yeah, he's been fine. I don't know if maybe his shooting in the bubble was questioned. I don't know. I just remember him. Anyways.
Yeah, it's too. I just think it's too much standing around, I think like anybody, like if you watch somebody go the fuck off, and I mean, I liken it to Warzone. Like if I'm playing Warzone, and it's me and Jock. We're running duos, and Jock is going absolutely nuts, and it's just an unfortunate effect for me specifically. I don't know if I can speak for him, but if he's popping the fuck off, and like I'm talking about 10 kills in the first like 5 minutes, I'm absolutely like gonna like lose the game. Like, I'm gonna lose the game from a standpoint of I'm not gonna be able to focus. Like, I'm not gonna be able to just kill properly. There's something about it, like when you're playing the bystander effect, somebody's tearing everything up, and you're not like really getting your shit going. Like, I'm not putting the ball in the hole. I'm not getting shots up. I'm not able to do what I need to do to make myself effective. Like, that's unfortunately like what I feel like happens with a lot of players. And I mean, you see it with LeBron's teammates. Like, look at what happened to Chris Bosh when he had to be his teammate. To some degree, Dwayne Wade, he wasn't Batman no more. That was scoring like crazy. He wasn't doing all that crazy shit anymore. Like, all of that stuff, like, unfortunately, like, plays a role. Like, when you're with a great player and you have to play the bystander effect. Like, and I think that, with more touches, it might be an interesting series. Like, Chris Middleton might get it going to the point where he's able to get at least one more win. Giannis wasn't ruled out for the series yet, so he might have a hobbled version of Giannis there as a decoy. Chris Middleton still gets more touches. You still have to respect Giannis because Giannis can get to the rack. He's a big dude that's going to be able to score. So, I mean, you still got to play him true. I don't know if the series is over yet. And, I mean, at the number 1 seed, they still have the odds to win the title. Obviously, the odds is crazy low right now because of the fact that they're losing. But, like this, they were the number 1 team for a reason. I'm not ready to rule them out yet. So, I mean,
we'll see.
Yeah, we'll see about them. I mean,
stranger things.
You got stranger things that can happen. Shit, you got the Rockets and the Lakers. That's a good example of stranger things that can happen. Fucking PJ Tucker, 26 times guarding AD, and AD doesn't fucking score on him one time. Could you think that would happen? Like, were you imagining that?
Nah, they said PJ Tucker statistically this season was his best defender.
So, but I mean, I feel like people found that out like as it happened though. Like nobody was seeing that. Like
somebody was because I remember all the thing. It was that Space Jam edit of AD before they started playing, and it was like, oh, this is gonna be PJ Tucker and AD, and it was like the short little Looney Tune versus like the Monstar. But then somebody put after that and showed the stats. They were like, this is his shooting splits versus PJ Tucker guarding, and he had him down to like 35% or some shit.
That's crazy. I feel like I wasn't seeing anybody.
So I saw that shit. Yeah. So yeah, because I kept seeing that. You're right. I did see a lot of that, but then luckily I saw that, and I was like, oh wow, okay, that makes sense.
Yeah, no, I mean, I respect it now. Like, and I mean, obviously that was game 1. After, like, I guess I'm speaking to more so like prior to game 1. Nobody was giving the Rockets a chance to get the Lakers. And that's what I'm speaking to, that they were saying AD's too big. That's all people were saying. AD's too big. AD's too big. AD's too big. Oh, who's going to stop? If they see the Clippers, who got a big man that can stop AD? AD is so big and so dominant, he's going to kill everybody. Like PJ Tucker was able to nullify him game 1. By game 2, though, I'll be honest, I give AD his respect, fucking cook him. So it's kind of one of those things where, like, we're going to see that back and forth.
What's weird is, prior to that, because I think people started talking crazy. I myself too, because Houston was about to get the fuck out of here. So it was looking like they're gassed. That they're going to be gassed X, Y, and Z on top of all of that. But I remember in the regular season, people were saying, "Oh, the only team to stop the Lakers is Houston."
Yeah, that's all they were saying, and like I don't know. Like I think they still do have a chance. Obviously, with James Harden,
I think it's a great matchup.
Yeah, you absolutely have a chance because Westbrook was absolutely cold. And I mean, Westbrook is, to me, this is just his career. I'm a guy, like, this is literally my feelings when it comes to Westbrook. I'm not a...
That's a good wave.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Nah, yeah. We're nah. It's the dancing. Like, and he's like, the dancing jeans real quick. But yeah, that shit was like waving real quick. What was so funny? As you said that was a good wave, like, I was like, yo, when am I going to stop waving? I was just like in love with it. I was watching it on the screen. Like, yo, that's so funny. But yeah, like, I don't even know. Like, Westbrook, he can be the best point guard in NBA history on one night, or he could be the worst. He could be Pandemic P the next night.
It's so crazy. Like, you got to take him. Like, that motherfucker going to give it 100%. But sometimes you're doing too much, but also it could be holy shit, you are the greatest player I've ever seen.
I've ever seen like pick up a basketball, and it's same thing for Harden. Harden doesn't have too many of his off nights where like he makes me question. I think Harden has perfected his game. I've become like I was always a Harden fan. Like the moment he became a Rocket, I was standing Harden. I'm not gonna lie. But right after, like,
yeah, he was coming crazy.
I think by year 2 though, I hated him though because I felt like he abused the free throw. But I didn't understand the game at like that his game at that point in time. Like now I see it. Like he's just incredibly hard to guard. Like there's not. He's literally KD at the 2 guard. That's just how I feel about it. Like he's more dribbles. Like KD is more silky smooth scoring. You know, he doesn't do too much to get his score. It looks like effortless. It's easy. Very similar to like a George Gervin's effortless scoring.
Yeah.
And then you
That's
got
what I always said. He was becoming an Iceman.
Iceman, yeah. And then you got like James Harden. James Harden is just, dribble, step back, or he'll blow by you and get to the rim. And it's just like, in itself, it's just crazy.
I think he's got the best change of pace I've ever seen. Like just straight up, like how slow he comes, and all of a sudden you're like, yo, he just fucking flew by.
Yeah, it's his size to speed, like image is very deceptive.
Right. If he wants to get to the cup on the fast break, he'll get to that shit. But more often than not, he's slowing down. He's that shit in like
the only other person I think that can contest with him in terms of pace, like, and can kill you would be like a Joe Johnson. Joe Johnson used to be extremely slow, but his isolation and like hesitation moves, his step back, his crossover, it just used to have people second guessing. Nobody knew what he was exactly doing. And yeah, I mean, he's a fucking beast, man. I really do respect James Harden. Like, I have nothing but good things to say about him. I mean, I think when he runs into my team, the Spurs, he just be choking though. I mean, it is what it is. The playoff Harden is a thing too. Like he just be choking. He be getting it up, but he just don't be getting it done. It sucks. Like he don't get it done though, but he's running into tough teams. I'll give him his respect. Raptors Celtics. That in itself, that's another series. They got it 2-2 tied. Fucking Celtics.
Yeah, that was about to go one way.
That was about. They were less than 20 seconds to being up 3-0-2. That would have been very, very crazy. So, like, I'm happy to see that series hopefully go to distance. So, that shit is pretty crazy. Like, yeah, that shit is pretty crazy. I don't know who do you got winning the title, man? Because I know the Clippers and the Nuggets, same thing. They went back and forth.
I honestly have no idea. Everybody's playing extremely well, so it's really tough to determine because I don't know, the bubble's doing some crazy shit, like I don't want to say necessarily levels out, but like some people are just shooting or just playing at such a high level that you're like, there's no way you can possibly expect this to happen. Like the Jamal Murray shit, like the Nuggets were good, the Nuggets are great. But
nobody saw the next coming of Jordan. Yeah, nobody saw that.
Yeah, you're like, what the fuck is going on there?
Yeah,
guys disappearing. Like again, another year of Paul George is kind of like having a serious ebb and flow where you're like, wow, like who's really expecting him to just again disappear like that?
Yeah,
Houston, where oh shit, like they're getting beat by OKC, and they just look so weird and streaky. Everybody's getting ready to, and boom, all of a sudden they win on a strange defensive play, and then they're back to normal again. Like I don't know, that's so weird like that sometimes.
Yeah, I absolutely agree, and I want to just say honest, and I mean, I guess I want to say true and stick to my Clippers. I don't know if I'm honestly in the feeling that, okay, Clippers might win the title. I feel like this is the most open it's ever been, actually. And I'm happy to see, like, it actually has me glued to the TV set every night. Like, even right now, like, I don't know what game is on, but I'm technically supposed to have it on the side. I'm probably going to turn it on in a second here. But, I'm watching every single game, like, because of the fact that literally any of these teams could win on any given night. And that's just going to make for a great
3 minutes left. Boston up 105-82.
Oh man, yeah, Toronto might get up out of here. Toronto might get up out of here.
Toronto would play better than this.
My problem with Toronto, and I think, I guess I saw a comment, is just that they don't have a star. They don't have a star. They don't have somebody that can put the ball in the hole, man. And people really underestimate the Kawhi's value to that team. Somebody that can legitimately put that ball in the hole at, Pascal had a couple good series and, was a good B star, unfortunately next to Kawhi.
That's a lot to demand of him. Take us all the way to the finals again.
Not anymore. Yeah, again. Yeah, it's not easy to
Again?
do that. It's not easy to do that. Kawhi showed you that shit.
Yeah.
So yeah. Oh shit, let me mute this shit. Whoa. Okay.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
So
man. Yeah, nah.
I don't know. Yeah, I'm really excited for
Nah,
everything.
I'm really excited for the at least the completion of the season because once that shit, you know, finishes up, obviously we're gonna roll into the next season. Only time could tell, obviously, given the pandemic and attendance. Honestly, the NFL is trying to do in person attendance, so we're gonna see how that shit show goes. That's gonna be like just the determination of just like what goes on next season. Like when we see what the other sport leagues go through, we're gonna be able to see all right, what's gonna actually be a return to norm for next season. Because I don't know, societally, like in the society, I just don't see. Like, I don't know. I can't even predict the future anymore because I just feel like mentally I don't know what it looks like anymore. Like, yeah, it's just fucking crazy. I mean, I don't know. Other than NBA fucking actually in the playoffs, I know 2K21 came out. Fucking 2K. I haven't played 2K in like I don't even know how many years it's been. I said months. I don't
That
know how
shit
many years
nasty.
it's been. I didn't come out to the last one. It's trash or is it like what? You played it
Nah, I
or
heard that shit. Nah, I heard that shit was trash. Because I was just looking at shit and they were just saying like the shooting is terrible. I'm starting to see people saying like there's certain badges that help you with it, but people, I don't know the way. Also, it looks the same. It looks like honestly everything's the same. Builds are the same. So I was like, this literally looks no different.
it looks
And
like
I
the same
stopped.
exact game.
Yeah, and I stopped playing 2K20
Oh
like
wow.
after like 4 months. I was like, nah, I'm definitely not getting that shit again.
Yeah, the
And then, yo,
last one I
people
got
were
was
saying the
2K19.
craziest shit they were talking about. Yo, I guess in the story mode, whatever, you go to college and you have
I saw
a
that.
white girl. You got a white girlfriend, and if you break up with the white girlfriend, you drop out of the college.
Yeah,
Who wrote that? Who the
yeah. I
fuck
don't know why
wrote
they
that?
wrote that. Yeah, it's so weird. Like because I was listening to that and I was just like, man, like I just don't understand. Like, why was the point of why even put that in the game? There was always such of those cringe-worthy moments that didn't make sense in those 2K my player stories, and that's just another clear example of it. It's like okay, like even if like the idea is like for him to like I guess try to make it to the league, or is it that he just dropped out and didn't go to the league? Like, what is like? Did he drop out and not declare for the draft?
Nah, he went didn't have a school or some shit. I don't know. It was
Oh
some
wow.
I didn't get to see what happened, but it was just like he just I don't remember what the
Nah,
hell happened.
that's crazy. If it's like all right, he dropped out of school, like that's like a little excessive. But if it's like okay, he drops out and declares, like what the fuck is the story? Like, and why does it have to be a white girlfriend? But at the same time, I don't know. Like, I feel like it would be weird as hell. Like if because you chose a black person, they made you automatically had a black girlfriend. Like I mean, but it's just weird. I don't know. It's such a weird game. Like that's why I never understood the prelude, like the story
I'd
and the
rather
girl.
that than I don't know. I'd rather that than just straight up. I don't know.
No,
I
I
don't know.
do agree. Like I'd rather like they could have been like a middle ground. I don't know. They
I'd
could have been
rather
in the
just
middle ground.
be
Like,
whatever race you are. They're just gonna pair you up with somebody of the same race.
I feel like there definitely would have been an outrage in that too. Yeah, I mean it would have made sense for that arc though. I agree. Just because if that was the auto generic response that like, all right, he was breaking up with his black girlfriend, so he was going to drop out. Even though that would have been like a what the fuck, like that don't make sense. Like it just doesn't make sense to me. And definitely given that it's a black guy, it was a black character. I seen in the Twitter, the fucking
Yeah.
post is the black character, and then the white girlfriend that made it all the worse. Obviously, man,
Oh
2K
man,
you doing bad. I don't know. I'll get it like if it ever
I'm
goes on
tired of
sale.
that shit.
If it goes on sale, maybe. But like 2K19, 2K20 never went on sale, so I never bought it. Like I just didn't buy it.
I'm
Like
tired of that shit, yo. I
yeah, I'm
had
cool.
fun in the earlier ones.
Yeah,
I stopped. I think the last one I had really good fun in was like 2K16. I think
yeah. I think the
17,
last one I really
17
enjoyed was 18 and 17. Those two I had a good time in. 19, I mean, I had a good time in 19. I don't want to sit here and say I didn't. Like I enjoyed 2K19. Like yeah,
I
2K
did like 17.
2K19 was the one with what was it, Young Thug on it? Yeah, Young Thug's album was on that. Or not Young Thug, but
18.
I don't know. It might have been 18. I don't know. I think he was on that. One of them motherfuckers was on that shit. But
I don't remember.
I got The Versus, bro. I don't know if you seen that Versus shit, man. Versus came on. I know we don't. I
Oh,
don't really
Monica
watch him
Brandy.
either, but Versus came on. Monica versus Brandy. We finally got to figure out who got the boy. Was it Monica's or is it Brandy? The boy is mine. And that shit was dope, man. I'm not gonna lie, that was like the biggest crowd they ever drew in. They had 1 million people watching that live at one point, separate from their Apple TV viewership because they usually been pulling in almost 1 mil on Apple TV as well. So they've been able to take it to a new level. I know it's been a couple of weeks since we kind of like talked about it, and I was like on that this week, man. I did that Monica versus Brandy, and I know you're a DJ, so I mean, and you're a producer, you make
I
music.
ain't no
Nah,
damn DJ.
you be DJing, bro. You
He's
be
a
nah,
DJ. I don't do
y'all
no
be hooking
damn
it up. Y'all be
DJ.
making the sick playlist. That's why to me, playlist makers are DJ. We need to have that conversation. You don't think playlist makers are DJs?
Nah, DJing is about there. The DJ sets a mood where it's supposed to be seamless transitioning in a way that maintains a feel. I feel like so as DJs, you know how to interchange songs to maintain this feel tempo wise. Literally, it's just a constant, tempo, and then basically continue to blend and interweave these songs where you don't even realize like how that you've heard all these songs. I feel like good DJs, they played so much shit and you don't even realize like that was over the course of like 4 hours or some shit
Mm-hmm.
because they're just weaving through all genres and making it seamless and
Mm-hmm.
somehow making that shit work. So I feel like DJs are different because playlists, I make a playlist, like I make a good playlist, but that's just selecting songs in whatever fashion. You don't necessarily, you can worry about transition, but you can't, it's harder to do tempos and shit like that.
Yeah. No, obviously. I mean, with
But it's
songs like
hard, it's live. You got to line it up to,
yeah.
stylistically. How do you, blend it and stuff like that to make it interesting? So yeah.
Mm-hmm. No, I mean, I guess I respect that. I don't want to like, because obviously that's a outside looking in, and I don't want to be the guy that's like, okay, it's just like really one type of paint for such a wide array of fucking colors or or different selections that are available. Like obviously you're a producer, you like music, you might have 6 playlists or put together 6 playlists, but you have respect for DJs, so I could understand that.
Oh,
You're
yeah.
saying, nah, DJs they do it like this. Like this is a specific set of how they're creating, their selections of music or whatever they present to you. You're right. It might, I guess, in one sense, like when you listen to it, like DJs, they really pride themselves on making sure their music sounds like almost like one continuous flow of just sound. Like, and you go to a party, like you never. Like, what's the one thing you care about? Like, when the DJ, like, it's like the DJ, you don't want the abrupt shifts in music. Like, you don't want him to be on one spectrum and then he ends up on some other spectrum. Like, it just doesn't make sense unless like the transition or the seam it made sense. Like, you don't want any of that. So yeah, no, I definitely can respect that. I definitely can respect that. And honestly, but this music shit, I like the verses. It's honestly just had me back in that vibe. So I've just been like, I don't know. I just been on my throwbacks, man. Just listening to hella throwbacks, like fucking '07, man. And like, I don't know. I was talking to Shy, like we've been just conversing, like, oh, yo, when we get married, like our DJ got to be like elite with the like '07 to like 2009, like throwbacks, like that era, like of like maybe '06 actually, like one more year, '06 to like '09. They got to be a whole set of just like all that funky music. I don't even know. It's like pop R&B, pop hip hop, like T-Pain,
Yeah.
fucking Bobby Valentino, Lloyd. You had fucking all these Diddy, fucking Keisha Cole, like all those type of hits. Nah, I need all that in my life, man, because it was definitely some good era of music, man. And versus, it's definitely been monumental and instrumental in just reminding me and like just I think reminding the next generation. Like a lot of people don't have an appreciation of music. Obviously, like I think for us and like obviously for you it's different, but like for me, like I think it's different coming from the '90s. Like when you got to grow up with like all these different type of sounds, and you heard these different type of music growing up. My parents was playing music from the '80s and the '70s, even though it was the '60s, like in my household, and it's just like like that type of sound. I don't ever want it to like leave me, and I guess I'm not like speaking specifically to '07 and '09, but anytime like I get into these things where I listen to a versus, it makes me dig up the old songs, or I might look through my playlist and like my playlist, I'm listening to Michael Jackson, or I might have like some fucking Teddy down Pendergrass or some shit, or Luther Vandross. I don't know, like some old school crazy music, like chilling in the library because of the fact that verses came through and a producer spun his track or a artist spun their old track. So I just definitely been on my throwback vibe, man. This week I've like been banging because of the internet. Childish Gambino, shout out Childish Gambino. That's my shit.
Yeah.
Had me in my freshman year bag, man. That shit like takes me straight back to freshman year, man. I don't know about you if you got albums like that, man, that you be listening to that makes you reminisce hard. Like you just like takes you back to a moment in time.
Oh,
Like that shit, it'll make you have like a lucid like day.
yeah. Oh man. I gotta think. I gotta genuinely think. I think. Damn. I'm really trying to remember. Okay, I know I can say Malibu by Anderson .Paak. I can remember everything about the time and like the day that I first listened to that album. Wow. It was such a weird day, but the music was so good, or to me, I just was not expecting that. So I was just like, oh wow, this is like a crazy blend. And so I enjoyed that. I would say, damn, you know what? I mean, let me pull
that. Yeah, now you gotta pull that up. Now I found myself like, I think like music period is like very instrumental in doing that for me. As a cliche as it sounds, like obviously music is supposed to be able to. Usually people study with music. Music is known to help people remember things. So, but like music has just always been like very crazy. Like, you know, I could remember like the songs that I was playing when I met Shy, or I remember the songs that I was like, I fucked with heavy when I met you, or the songs that I was banging when I first met my homies in 6th grade or 5th grade, 4th grade, 2nd grade. What was I listening to in 1st grade? 4th grade, what was the tunes out? Like, I said 4th grade. Like, when I was 4 years old, what was the tunes out? Like, the little that I remember from being a toddler. Like, that shit actually is really, really strong and just helping you remember memories. So, you know, music is really good. That's what Versus has just been very good at. Like, I'll tell you, man, I found myself just tripping like through memory lane, like listening to Versus. So I really like that they've been doing that heavy too. Fucking other than that, man, like this week I haven't been doing anything else. I feel like, yo, this podcast is dope, man. We've just been talking about what we did this whole week. I just realized, like, we just been talking about what we watched and what we did. Not shit happened though at the same time, so nobody could even fucking blame us. I feel like people like kicking with us. Our conversation turns into the discussion, so like that's what's really dope about it. My ass been car shopping all week too, man. It's been like sitting here getting ready for the next purchase, bro. That shit is coming up. It's coming up.
What is it? You know exactly?
Yeah, I know what it's gonna be. I think, and I think I've talked to enough people. I don't think I'm gonna disclose it for the podcast. I think, you know, obviously I'm gonna wait. That's just that's obviously just shit that could pop up. But I'll talk about, I guess, the selection of cars. I'll just throw the car in the mix. You know,
no. Just tell me after. Just tell me after.
Oh yeah. Nah, but I'll tell you exactly what it is after. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, nah, that shit is just crazy though. I've been doing that, but it's just so crazy, like the stress of just like car shopping. How like far before, like I even my boy like Yadesh. I mean, I don't even. I'm gonna air his ass out. Fuck him, because he tried to play me. He low key showed up today, and I was trolling him for it, but he showed up in the chat today in our Discord, and he was like, he calmly posted a picture on Instagram over the weekend, and he was like, "Yo, with Bay and Bay." Dude was posting a fucking M5 competition package, bro. Brand new, bro. Brand new M5 competition package. Like, yo, this nigga chicken said, first of all, wait, like, man, I don't even want to talk about this shit. I'm too drunk to talk about this shit. But he did that shit, and it was just like, man, like, you know, you see those type of cars, man, and it's just like, I can't wait to, like, that feeling of just getting a new car. Like, it's just one of a kind. Like, it's just one of a kind, and I just cannot wait. Like, you know, the motherfucker, he came in and he dropped that M5 competition, and we was just talking about like all the different cars that I wanted and like all the different cars that is just out there. Like, it's such a good like time. Unfortunately, as shocking as it sounds to buy a car, it's a good time, but at the same time, it's such a weird time to buy a car. Like, I found myself mad stressed to just like, you know, you don't know like between the make, like what kind of like car, like do you even need a car? You're in NYC, like. I know you see it like shit. Do you ever see yourself getting a car? Like, I know we've talked about it, but like, you know what I'm saying?
I gotta get a car. I really love cars. But I just do not have a car. And I know I'm just was trying to always rationalize, I guess, spending the money for it, but I know like there will be at some point coming up where I can afford it and it's a decision that I can actually benefit from now.
Mm.
Where before I felt like I would have diminishing returns. I
Yeah.
wouldn't really do much with it outside of just having it. But now I would be like, oh no, I would use this in a really good capacity, in all honesty. So okay, I can do this. I want to do this. Let's do this. So
Yeah, no,
I'm at a different point now. Yeah.
no, that's actually a very like logical way to look at cars. Like, you know, I look back like to even when I got my first car sometimes, and I'm just kind of like, you know, obviously I went to Albany. I needed a car. I needed a car to get up and down the state. I was driving up and down the state as soon as I graduated. Even before I graduated, sorry, excuse me, but before I graduated as a junior, senior driving, by the time I went to college, I definitely needed a car because I was going to be going up and down the state. So I've always had the use scenario as a Staten Islander. We drive on Staten Island. We have buses, obviously, and if you live on the white side of Staten Island, you have the train. So we have our means of transportation, but you know we can travel by car. Like our traffic's not that bad to the point where we can't use a car every day. So it's always made sense for me. But for somebody who lives in Brooklyn, if you lived in Harlem, Queens, you know, Bronx, any of the other boroughs, like it never made sense. Like, you know, if you live in a borough connected with the bridge and the train, which is the other guys, like, nah, like you can get around the city without the need to. I think, you know what, kind of like has me now, like at this point where I don't see myself using transportation too much. Unfortunately, the pandemic, you know, I've already had my OCD about filth, you know, people's cleanliness, people who just want to be sneezing and coughing in public with no regard to anybody near them and coughing it up in the air. Like I've already had my OCD about that shit, but now like with the sicknesses, like I don't know, like I guess it's like, you know, American arrogance, you know. I think the pandemic and coronavirus as a whole has made me acknowledge American arrogance to a point where it's like, okay, you could call it brainwashing, you can call it whatever you want. Me choosing to wear a mask for my health is just like me, like being sensible. Me being upset with the fact that people choose to sneeze without covering their nose, or you want to cough out loud with your mouth wide open and not cover your mouth, or if you cough into your hand and grab the railing that you know everybody in public transportation needs to hold. Like what are you doing? Like you obviously don't have regard for human life. You don't have regard for my life. You don't have regard for anything that anybody can have going on. So like, you know, you could call it what you want, but I'm gonna be wearing these fucking masks. Look, I think these motherfuckers out there out west in Asia, because they've been doing it because of the bird flu. They've been ahead of that shit. They've been on a lot of
every flu season.
Yeah.
Let's just put the mask on, yo. Don't even. Let's not
Why
stop
not?
the corona.
Like, it makes sense.
Why not?
That shit just makes sense. We should just put the mask on. I think in sick seasons when you know people are gonna be sick, if you coughing in public, you should be required to wear a mask. I think that should be about.
Yo, flu season, I'm going back to same type quarantine shit. It's getting limited again.
Nah, you feel how cold it's been some of these mornings? Yo, nah, we about to start. Yo, mask out every day, bro. If I have the bubble on outside, you know I'm gonna be mask on. I'm gonna have the balaclava, son. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna have that shit on, and I'm gonna just be covering my face, man, like just completely mask.
I'm gonna look like the fucking like Call of Duty operator with the hat, them goggles, and then like the half mask.
Nice. That's what I'm gonna be doing. Yeah, Culligan. Yeah, I'm gonna have that shit. Yeah, but I mean, you know, it's what it is, man. We care for ourselves, you know what I mean? We just trying to be healthy, you know what I mean? But yeah, man, like. I think that might be all for my week, man. I don't know if I did too much else. I don't want to kill you with too many of my other feelings. What shit? I've been missing anime, watching Dragon Ball and shit, doing all that bullshit.
Have you read the manga?
Nah, you know what? Honestly, I mean, I guess they bring up that subject. Like, I've been missing anime, man, but I'm not ready to commit to any type of like manga or anime anymore. I don't know what it is. Like, it's like
completely fair.
I think it's just my detachment from television in general, because I don't watch a lot of TV if it's not sports or anything that pertains to real life. Like if it's not a real life thing right now, I'm not against animation. It's not like, you know, I grew up, my parents.
That's where you're at. Yeah. I'm in the same boat. Not necessarily like that, but I watch stuff, but not really. Like I do, but don't. So like, there's so many animes that people you got to watch this, and they just keep piling on. And I'm like, yo, I don't know if I'll ever get to it.
It's gonna be a random summer or like a random winter or a random like Yo, Tenny,
5 years later.
yeah, you know, you have a random stretch of time as an adult and you just want to sit down and binge watch something. That's when I'm gonna do it. That's exactly how that works for me. So yeah, man. I'm just we chilling here, man. Touch the City podcast. We out here macking, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah. So thank y'all for tuning in. Episode 26 of the Touch the City podcast. We appreciate y'all for rocking with us this entire time, and that you will continue to rock with us as we move forward into the future. So hope you safe and you enjoying what you can in socially distance and safe capacities while this good weather lasts. And yeah, we'll catch y'all on the next one.
We out.